Hey everybody, it has been a minute. Apologies for that. Work, more work, then work again. This work also includes me writing the book, which hopefully is getting close to being there. I want it to be. I want you guys to get to read it. Let's jump into it. Talk about some wrestling. For the record, this is a shirt that I purchased through River City Wrestling, RCW. I don't care. It's probably the most accurate shirt I own concerning me. More or less. Anyway. Today's topic. Carson. If you don't know who Carson is, then more than likely you do not live in Texas, or you have never seen him in Louisiana, where he wrestles too. I met Carson, I don't know how many years ago now, and I've always liked his style. He's had like this, to fit in line with his character, this arrogant style. And what I've always said about Carson is, here's the problem with him being arrogant. He can back it up. You almost hate those kinds of people who are so sure of themselves, so sure of their skills. They're confident in what they can do. And the worst part is they're gonna actually pretty much prove it. That's almost annoying. But I'm just kidding. Carson is an amazing talent. Just recently, the most recent match I saw him in was against Lance Hoyt when he defended the NWA, the BOW Heavyweight Championship. Great match. How he won the belt in the first place was just as amazing. It was a street fight with him and Charlie Haas. For all my insults to Charlie Haas, and God knows I have a ton of insults for Charlie Haas, I respect the crap out of the guy as a wrestler, because he's purebred wrestler, talent for days. That's just who Charlie Haas is, and that's who Carson is. So two of them in a match is great. Two of them in a street fight was even better, because you have two guys who can wrestle, who have the technical skill and the charisma to wrestle, but you also had two guys who are from Texas. That means when you're born in Texas, it's like you can be, if you're born in Texas, it's almost like in your DNA that you can fight at some level. Like if you were born in Texas, you were born in Texas, you were here for a week as a baby, and you moved to, like, I don't know, let's say like England. You were raised in England. If push comes to shove, and like you're like backed in the corner, you're about to fight, 9 times out of 10, the week of Texas in your DNA comes out, and for absolutely nowhere, your fists start flying. It's a theory, and I think in most cases it's probably been proven. But totally off subject there. Going back to Carson. He's been called multiple times the Texas Prodigy. And only one other guy who I know has remotely had the title, and that's Barrett Brown, and it applies to him too. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say like only Carson can have this. No, like when someone is called it, they gotta earn it. Carson has earned it. I brought a sign that's somewhere in this house. That I brought a sign that says Carson Texas Prodigy, and I crossed out Prodigy and put Icon, because he is now. This is one of those times where the scene of pro wrestling in Texas is changing. Actually, the scene of pro wrestling in Texas is constantly changing. It's never been stagnant to my knowledge. I mean, I know we're known for Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, the Von Erichs, and even the Undertaker. But as far as the independent scene in Texas, I think over the past 10 years, it's been constantly just changing and evolving. And this is not saying that the guys who were at the top aren't still on top of their game, because they are. Because I think like 5-6 years ago, it was guys like Mike Dell and Scott Summers and guys like that who are on top, and they haven't fallen off, but they are they keep moving on to bigger and better things. And like, so, so the younger guys are getting in there, guys like Carson, guys like Barrett Brown, you got Gregory James. I would put ACH on that list if he wasn't already in Ring of Honor. I would also put Ray Rowe on the list if he already was not in Ring of Honor. Excuse me, I think it's late and I'm tired. But that's the thing with Carson, man. He has stepped up. And this is not saying that there was a time when Carson's talent was bad. Even when I first saw him, you could tell he was, a little green, a little bit of rookie, but that did not mean he wasn't good. Carson's always been good. He's always been this fantastic wrestler, and he's only gotten better since then. And this is to say nothing less of his girlfriend, the amazingly talented Barbie Hayden, who's also fantastic in the ring. I could do a whole video on her about her talent and her skill. And matter of fact, I just might. But you have a guy like Carson who's willing to put in that work, willing to step up, willing to, do all the necessary things. And yes, it is necessary to be this good. To make it to that level, you got to give him his props. Carson is a hard worker. I can see it because I see the results. You do not get a world championship match with Satoshi Kojima unless you've been putting in work. Granted, he didn't win. Who cares? The fact that he even got chosen or was the number one contender, or that he made it to that level to face against not only a guy who's the world champion, you're talking about a guy who's been IWGP world champion, and Satoshi Kojima will go down as a legend in this business. And matter of fact, to me, he is already. Kojima is a legend. And the fact that he, was world champion, and he came over here, defend the belt, small little Texas ring. This guy is sold out in Japan. Comes to Texas, wrestles in front of maybe 100 to 200 people. And I didn't make it to the show. I had family things to deal with that. I'm not sad I missed the match because it was very important to the family stuff I had to do. I saw my nephew graduate. To me, that was very important. I could not miss that for the world. I'm very proud of my nephew. Shouts out to Josh. But for a guy who's a legend to come here, he wrestles a guy like Carson who has immense amount of talent. That says something about the individual he's wrestling. Kojima's a legend. He can pick his opponents at this point, for God's sakes. Doesn't have to say, he can say, I don't want to wrestle the young kid. He can say it. What can we say about it? But he wrestled a talented guy like Carson, and I wasn't there, but I already know Carson put in his work to make the match good. Because that's who Carson is. Some people have their opinions about Carson, and that has nothing to do with me. My opinion about Carson is he's a good guy, he's a hard worker, and he puts in 110% every time he gets in that ring, to the point where, even if he's, and I've seen him wrestle with something pulled during the match, he keeps going. And if that means he's got to limp out of that ring, he's going to limp, but he will keep going until he can't. That's just my opinion. Carson is now called the Texas Lion because of because he'll roar when he comes to the ring. This guy's got that beautiful hair thing going on. Yeah, yes, I said he has beautiful hair. Shut up. And to me, him being called Texas Lion just speaks to his intensity, how tough he is, how what he brings to the ring, and to me, it's a title that fits. It's a title that works. Carson is a lion when he gets in that ring because he's going to put in the work. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. And I know I'm posting this shortly after news of a very tragic event happening in his life. And at the time of recording this, his father had passed not even a whole week ago. I know it's probably very hard for him right now. I can't even imagine what he's going through. I really cannot. But if I can say anything, Carson, and I hope you are watching this, I want to say this. Your dad had to be 100% proud of your brother. Because I know he was there the night when I brought all those signs for you. And I know that I remember him and your mom. I remember Barbie taking the signs over to your parents. And I think they still have them. I hope they still have them. If they don't, if they're around here, let me know. I will give them to you for your mom to hold them, because I would love it for you guys to keep those. Because your dad could only be proud of you, man. Because right now the list of people in Texas who are better, to me, is a very small list. And that's not to say that the talent in Texas is lacking. It's not. But that's how hard you work, my friend. You earned everything you got. So, again, my condolences to your family. And much respect to your father. He raised a good man. So I can tell in turn that he was a good man. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Minasan, sayonara.